We are blessed to live in such a beautiful part of the world with sweeping vistas and beautiful mountains. What we've found is that our conservation work is as important as it's ever been to strengthen the biodiversity that we all depend on to survive. We believe that everybody should have equitable access to nature, and our community programs give people the opportunity to get outside, to feel the solace that nature can bring to them, especially during these tough times. The Santa Fe Conservation Trust is a land trust started in 1993 to protect Atalaya Peak from development behind St. John's College. Our organization is a nonprofit. In addition to protecting over 45,000 acres in and around Santa Fe, we also have a strong trails legacy. We've had a hand in the development of 75 miles of trails, and we maintain them with the help of hundreds of volunteers annually to make sure that our community has access to safe and enjoyable outdoor recreation. Dale Ball was the first executive director. He's famous for creating the Dale Ball Trail System, which is a 35-mile trail system that I'd say almost everybody has used and enjoyed. I think because of his initial input into our formation, the community realized we don't want to see houses on the ridgetops of our foothills, which can be seen from everywhere in town. And that spurred our organization into action to figure out an alternative. And eventually, Santa Fe County passed an ordinance prohibiting ridgetop development. Over time, we expanded that focus to protect the foothills all the way from Tesuque down to the Pecos area. The land, the food, the air, the water all capture why we love living here and why it's important for us to protect them.
The Galisteo Basin is a focus area, probably our prime focus area, and this conservation homestead is our biggest project yet. Not necessarily in terms of the size of the land, but in terms of the scope of the work.
This 300-acre parcel was donated to the Santa Fe Conservation Trust in 2020.
Taking on this project, we decided that it would be a great format to showcase conservation techniques.
It is an area in a network of pathways in the center of the basin where animals, water, people, seeds all have a possibility to disperse and roam around in this landscape.
We have a pretty big area where man's imprint has left it looking kind of shattered a little bit. So we're trying to bring that back through a variety of projects.
I think we are solving a problem of current desertification, largely caused by us people having managed this land in a certain way.
We'll have many, many more volunteer days where we've put in a number of different structures to control the erosion. We've recontoured the land. We planted a bunch of seed, and we're trying to spread out the water. Whatever water falls on this property, we're going to make use of and bring it back to where it was 100, maybe 1,000 years ago. That's a big, tall order. That'll take a long time. But we think that once people see what you can do with a piece of land like this, they'll want to do it more and more.
We have more than 13,000 acres under conservation easement in the Galisteo Basin area, where there are just an amazing array of archaeological sites that need to be protected.
What's special about this trust is its commitment to connecting people with the land. Not just going through the professional exercises of establishing easements on land, but working hard to connect us in a spiritual way with the land that around here is so important to who we are.
As a result of all this open area, we also don't have a lot of light pollution. So this area is also a gem for night sky appreciation.
The stars that our ancient ancestors saw should still be visible to us. And it's a critical part of our overall environment and our sense of place.
It is important for people to start to discover what the different stories are, the historical stories and the ecological stories of this place, especially in this time of change. so that with understanding, they gradually start to love the place in a different way than only to appreciate it for the visual quality. And that they, by loving it, are maybe willing to embrace some form of conservation stewardship, because that is really what we need. It's not only the Santa Fe Conservation Trust and people like us who can do that. We need to do it all together.
We need a place to play, and I encourage people to come out and check out the whole Galisteo Basin.
One of our goals is to see if we can get more and more landowners to consider putting their land under conservation easements. Our organization has put together a strategic conservation plan for the next 10 years that's going to lead us towards trying to connect the patchwork of easements that we have throughout the region.
One of the things that I love about the work that the Santa Fe Conservation Trust does is the fact that it does fit like puzzle pieces within this broader scheme of conserved lands all over North America, from Mexico all the way up to Canada.
This is also part of a larger initiative called the Western Wildway, where we do our part, but there's about 60 different organizations, and we're working to create a wildway corridor along the spine of the continent.
You have to have pieces of land that all fit together so that you can have migrations. As the climate gets warmer, animals can move to a place that is better for them.
Now, with the addition of the conservation homestead, we've got so much land under easements. We've not only created habitat for wildlife, but we're protecting the watershed.
And understanding the role that conservation plays in protecting both water quality and water quantity is really important, because studies have shown over and over, if we can protect the headwaters of a watershed, that's really one of the most important places to protect the water quantity.
The initiative that the Biden administration jumped on board with is the 30 by 30 initiative, which calls for 30% of our country's wildlands to be put under conservation by the year 2030. The clock is ticking, and we have a long way to come.
Most of the scientific organizations say taking that step is a good way to go. You can still get to 50% by 2050.
Takes all of us together to really create this connected network of conserved lands that protects our planet.
We need everybody working together to make sure the land that's being preserved is going to fit into the category of making a difference on climate change and making a difference on the extinction crisis.
We're trying to improve everybody's quality of life 1 acre at a time through our work. Future generations really are depending on us to protect what we all care about here. But it's not really a guaranteed thing, so we're trying to ignite a passion for everybody in our community for the beauty of the natural world that we all enjoy, because we want future generations to have that same blessing.